Hi, welcome to my YouTube. The seller declared this rifle has a host of issues, from failed to cycle to light strikes and everything in between. And he was unable to fix the problems. But because I bought this cheap and I'm up for a challenge, those of you who's been through this before might think differently, might think I'm glutton for punishment. But before I try solving the problems, let me familiarize with this gun. First, a little about the history. This is a ISSC mk22. It was introduced about a decade ago. On the receiver, it says designed by ISSC and manufactured in Germany. Although ISSC is a German company, but it is not the manufacturer. However, they are affiliated with ISSC, an Austrian company. The manufacturer is German Sports Gun, GSG, which I have done over a dozen videos on the MP40, both caliber, STG-44, and the GSG-15. Please check them out. GSG produces their own version of this, and it's called the GSG-15. The only difference is the stock, and that is the main reason why I chose this instead of the GSG-15, because this is a closer resemblance to the FN Scar, whereas GSG-15 has this weird looking folder that I don't recognize. A couple of years after the intro, another company, German company called Anschutz, yes, the Olympic precision uber expensive gun manufacturer, kind of strange for a company like that, would want a military clone in a semi. However, they made a deal to have their version produced, but unlike the GSG-15, the difference is not cosmetic. The RX22 is vastly different internally. It has a solid barrel, no sleeves, and fine-tuned fire control group, FCG, a real tack driver. This retails similar to GSG-15 and of course a lot cheaper than the Anschutz. So let's begin. Okay, I'm back. Why don't we start from the back and work our way to the front? Let's start off with the stock. It's made out of plastic. It has quite a few points for the sling. One on the bottom here, two QD points for the sling right here, two more here, and it has adjustable length, 3 position, that gives you about 1.5 inches. It also has a cheek riser that's adjustable, and it'll give you about 1/2 inch rise. It would be nice whenever you extend your stock that the risers go along with it, but in this case, like most extendable stock, the risers do not go along with it. Okay, one complaint I have about this stock is the stock catch. It's made out of plastic and it locks up against a metal, which means if you just slam it shut, it will not last very long. Matter of fact, this would eventually wear out pretty fast. So it's best when you're locking it, press the button and then lock it rather than slamming it shut. Okay. Another complaint is the hinge. Although the back plate hinge part is made out of metal, the stock part, these two, are made out of plastic. And this is what happens if you would happen to drop the stock, the hinge will shear off. Okay. Next, let's move down to the lower. It's entirely made out of plastic. Unfortunately, the grip is not separable with the lower. And it has a little spot to put your cleaning tools in there. The selector is ambidextrous. You can change there and also here. Also ambidextrous is the mag catch, one right here and the one right here. The mag is made out of plastic. It holds 22 rounds. Nice, it has a tab for easy loading. This piece is a stock catch to hold the stock when it's folded. On the FN Scar, it's actually a deflector, but they wisely made use of that and use that to hold the stock folded. Pretty good. Okay. Next, we're looking at the upper, and it's nice. It's made out of metal. It's aluminum, and it has 6 positions for the charging handle. And it's as simple as pulling it out, snapping it in 3 different positions on the left side, 3 different positions on the right side, if you wish. It has a 15-inch rail. Unfortunately, it's not one piece, and it's made out of plastic. It's 3 separate 5-inch sections. It has 2 flip-up sights. You press this button, and it'll flip up. Okay. It has 2 apertures. One is about 5 millimeter and has a little cutout above it. Okay, and then it has another flap aperture. You move that up. It's taller, and it has a 2 millimeter aperture, and it also has a cutout on top that you could use. The front is the typical post. Seems pretty solid. Apparently these aperture sights are Gen 2. Okay, next thing is the rails. This gun has a little bit too much of rails for me. Not only does it have a 15-inch rail on top, it has 3 5-inch rails on 3 sides, and that's a bit too much for me, and they're all made out of plastic. Okay, moving forward, then you come on to this what's supposed to be a gas block. It has rails on the bottom and probably a mount for the front sight on the FN Scar, and it has 2 spots for the sling. And then moving forward to the barrel, and then a fake flash hider. As you can see, it's much too big for a 22, and it actually doesn't even function at all. So that basically brings us to the end of this ISSC mk22. Thank you very much for joining me, and please subscribe.